Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning, Dr. Rafferty.
It's Wednesday today, the 5th Wednesday of the school year. And for those of you who remember from last week's flag salute, you know that we have a very special guest here today. And he's going to come up front and talk to us real soon. So, you remember all about him, right? He used to go here to Fairmont, kindergarten through 5th grade. He's an Olympic athlete. He went to Rio. He was just there during our start of our school year. We were following his exploits. He's a badminton player. How about a giant round of applause for Phillip Chew? Come on up, Phillip. Phillip, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, students, teachers, and faculty. It's an honor to come back and speak to all the kids.
And if it's okay with you, Phillip, we're going to ask you some questions and actually put together a little PowerPoint. We're going to take a look. Oh, you know what, Mr. Vogel, why don't we take a look at a little bit of Mr. Chew in action. Phillip Chew, check this out. And any commentating you want to do, go for it, Phillip.
This was actually in July in LA. I remember during this tournament I was having some vertigo issues, so I don't know how well I played. But since it was so close by and it was actually an important tune-up event for the Olympics, and it was the only tournament I played after qualification, I just went out there and did my best.
All right. And Mr. Vogel, why don't you search for another one where it's at the Olympic Games, and while you're doing that, Phillip, I know I've been doing a lot of reading about you, and I read an article in the New York Times that said that you've traveled like how many millions of miles playing badminton?
Over the last, because badminton qualification is a whole year, so during the whole year I think I played like 30 tournaments, so that was 30 different places around the world. Went to Asia, went to Europe, South America, also some tournaments here in the U.S., so there was a lot of traveling involved, and it's really difficult. It sounds easy to travel, but it definitely isn't when you're trying to perform at your highest athletic abilities. So it was a good experience, and I was glad that I was able to qualify.
All right. Phillip, take a look at the screen. Tell us if you can tell us what else this is going on here.
This was in June, the U.S. Nationals. This was the finals. Unfortunately, I lost this match, but the organizers really needed people to come in and attract fans, even though they still didn't get a lot in West Palm Beach, Florida, because it's not a big badminton community. But they were very happy that we went and helped boost their attendance and at least say they had some Olympic athletes at their event.
Now, there were only 7 athletes, 4 men, 3 women, who represented, maybe it's the other way around, 3 men, 4 women, who represented the United States at the Olympic Games. How do they narrow it down? How do they pick the players that are going to play?
Badminton's a very individual sport, so it's more like tennis where everyone's on their own. Actually, 7 is the biggest badminton team we've ever had since badminton was introduced as an Olympic sport in 1992. Actually, I was also part of the first mixed doubles team to qualify from the U.S. So it was actually for me, I qualified in mixed doubles and men's doubles with my teammates. So 3 of us were together with me from my club. And the other 4 qualified on their own merit in other events, men's singles, women's singles, and women's doubles. So I can't speak much to how they qualified, but I can explain how I did.
Very good. And Mr. Vogel, if you could transition over to the PowerPoint, that would be awesome. This is a slide the kids have seen before. We showed this slide at the very first day we had flag salute here. We started school in the middle of August, so the Olympic Games had just started up and you were about to be playing that following week. And it was really cool that somebody from right here at Fairmont Anaheim Hills It's at the Olympic Games. Now you were here from kindergarten through 5th grade. Tell the boys and girls and the classroom teachers some of the things you remember about being here, kindergarten through 5th grade.
I was actually here from preschool through 6th grade.
Whoa.
So I was here for 9 years, and I actually haven't been back since the day I left, so that was 10 years ago. But I have many great experiences here and memories. The biggest thing here was it really prepared me for future schooling, high school, and college. In 6th grade, I had teacher, Mr. Calavita, who's the calculus teacher at the preparatory. And he taught, I didn't do very well in his class, to be honest, but he taught me a lot of things that I used in my college math class that made it really, really easy. So they really prepare you here very well for high school and college, and anything that you want to do in life, whether that's being a badminton player like me, or being a pianist, or violin player, or artist, anything, they really prepare you here very well for the future.
Now, I know you had a chance to visit with a few of us in the conference room before we came out here to flag salute, and I remember asking you a question that maybe you can share with the boys and girls a little bit about. When you were here for preschool through 6th grade, what's different when you look around the place? What's different?
I actually remember this auditorium. This was the same room we used for group meetings or get-togethers, assembly rooms like this. There was no double doors at the end when you walk out to the left, so there was a bunch of lockers on the wall outside to the left on the right side, and on the wall closest to us would be everyone's backpack in 6th grade. It'd be a giant backpack mess. But other than that, a lot of things look really familiar. The front room where the conference room is now for the teachers used to be the science lab for me, so that's what I remember it as. But as far as walking in, everything looks the same. I was here for so many years, I don't think that things change very easily.
We haven't had a chance to take you on a tour, but I know if you start walking this way, it used to be a dead end at this hallway, right?
Yeah, it was a dead end here when I left, and I know the next year they opened it up because I heard from friends, and they extended it all the way to the back. I don't know how far because I never came back, but
yeah.
I've never been back there.
We'll take you on a tour today. It's the junior high, and just so you know too, Fairmont is thinking about maybe adding a small high school to our campus. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be really cool. I was here for many years. Unfortunately, I left not because it was because I wanted to pursue badminton, and the curriculum was really difficult. I was telling the people I was speaking with earlier that homework here is 3 to 4 hours, but it really prepares you for high school and college, what schooling will be like there. But when I went to public school, it was 1 hour, and I was able to invest more time in badminton, so I was able to chase my dream. When I was a kid here, I always wanted to make the Olympics. Mr. Arias, the PE teacher, would know. He was my PE teacher here as well. So I always wanted to make the Olympics. It was my dream, and that's unfortunately the reason why I had to leave this great school.
Now, speaking of education, I see that you're at UC Irvine. What are you studying and all of that?
I'm currently studying business economics at UC Irvine. I'm actually returning for the first time this next week. It's my first full quarter at UC Irvine. I took some part-time in 2013 before I had to take some time off in order to try and qualify for the Olympics, which involved a lot of traveling, so I was unable to go to school during that time. But I'm excited to return next week.
All right, take a look at a few slides here. Your very first, if this is accurate,
yeah.
According to the research I did, you won your first gold medal, not Olympic gold, but a gold medal for a tournament in 1999. Under 9 was the age group, and you were only 5 years old?
Yeah, that's correct. I actually started playing when I was 1.5 years, so I was very, very young. My grandfather got me into badminton. So I started at a really young age, and at the age of 5, I think I'm one of the youngest to ever win a junior national title. So I was very proud of that, and that's how Fairmont knew I was a really good badminton player, because I was always winning these junior tournaments. So when I grew up, I just wanted to keep up my level.
And I've heard it said of you that you were the Tiger Woods of badminton.
Yeah, an OC Register did a piece on me, and they labeled me as such. I don't remember him coming. It was kind of funny because at the press conference in Rio, the guy from the OC Register, Jeff Miller, was there, and he asked me if I remember him as Uncle Jeff, which is what I called him when I was 5, and he came to see me.
That is so cool. Here's kind of a fuzzy picture of when you were in kindergarten. Here's you as a first grader, even fuzzier. But here it starts to get a little bit better pictures from here. 2nd grade with Mrs. Lee. Starting to look more like Phillip there. You can really recognize him, huh? 4th grade. And the last picture I have here is from when you were in 5th grade. So I'll have to check the yearbooks and look for you in 6th grade.
Yeah, I was here in 6th grade. We treated it as middle school, and it was a great experience. It was very difficult, as I mentioned before.
All right. You sure won a lot of medals. Do you know how many medals you've won?
I have no idea, but this was at the Pan American Games. I think it's my most prestigious accomplishment besides making the Olympics. Winning 2 gold at the Pan American Games, which is like the Olympic Games of North and South America, in Toronto, Canada last July. It was a really important tournament for me to qualify because it gave me a big head up on the Canadians, who were my biggest rivals, to qualify. And actually, it was the first time I beat one of the Canadian teams. I was actually an underdog most of the qualification until I won these 2 gold medals at the Pan American Games last summer.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us about your teammate here for mixed doubles.
Yeah, this was us winning the Pan American Games mixed doubles. Like I said, it was the first time we beat the Canadians, and I actually lost them a lot of times, maybe 5 or 6 times before I finally beat them here in Canada. So to beat them on their home soil and win the Pan American Games was a really big accomplishment and a big step towards our qualification.
Doesn't Phillip and his partner look excited?
Yeah.
Oh man, that is awesome. Oh, I put together a few slides just for comparison's sake. I don't know if you've ever played ping pong before, but in the Olympic Games they call it table tennis. And they say that the fastest table tennis ball travels at 28 miles an hour. That's pretty fast. Baseball fans know that this guy for the Cubs can throw it 105 miles an hour. In hockey, the fastest slap shot ever recorded, 108 miles an hour. In tennis, which is kind of a little bit like badminton, 164 miles an hour for the top serve. I don't know if you've ever heard of a sport called high-lie, but high-lie, they whip the ball out of that little chute thing, and it can travel up to the top recorded speed, 188 miles an hour. Now, are you ready to be totally stunned and amazed? Badminton, 206 miles an hour. Phillip, talk about that.
Yeah, badminton is known as the fastest racket sport in the world. Not many people know that, especially here in America, because badminton is really popular in Asia, and Denmark is really big on badminton as well as England, but mainly Asia. They actually get a lot of fans in Asia. When you go play badminton in Asia, the stadiums, maybe half the size of the Honda Center, will be filled with people, and they're just clapping and yelling the whole entire time when you're playing it. You got to really focus on the match and your task at hand, because you can get distracted by the crowd very easily. But it really is a great sport. Like I mentioned, I was introduced by my grandfather at a very young age. We have our own badminton club, the Orange County Badminton Club. So I really enjoy badminton. I've always enjoyed it, and I was very happy to qualify for the Olympics.
And I noticed that they make 2 different kinds of shuttlecocks, one made out of nylon, one made out of feathers. In the Olympic Games, what style of shuttlecock do they play with?
In official competitions, you're always using feather shuttles. The only time I ever heard of nylon shuttles was from high school badminton. I'm not sure if they still use nylon shuttles because my high school did not have high school badminton, but that's the only time I've seen nylon shuttles being used.
Here's your male partner in doubles.
Yeah. This was in Indonesia. I can tell from the back right sign. That's a big club in Indonesia, and Indonesia was the craziest place to play. The bird's so light that, and you're in Southeast Asia, so it's super hot and humid that they turn on the air conditioning, and the wind is like swirling in that gym where we're playing the tournament. So sometimes it seems like the wind's going to the right, sometimes to the left, sometimes forward, and sometimes back. It was really hard to play there. Probably the hardest facility that I've ever played in.
Wow, that is cool. You got teddy bears along with your medals?
Yeah, they gave us this when we won the Pan Am Games. That's my mixed doubles partner. So that was pretty cool. And we were just really happy that we won. As I mentioned before, it was the first time we ever beat our Canadian rivals, so
that's awesome. I got a couple of shots of you just showing the kind of concentration it takes to play badminton.
yeah.
And Phillip, we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come and join us here at Flag Salute today. And Mr. Arias, or let's see, there's Mr. Scott. Anybody else that has been with Phillip over the years, or teachers in the room? Anybody with an additional question for Phillip? Oh, man. Oh, Mrs. Almeida, way in the back, nice and loud.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Villa Park High School. It was actually halfway between my home and the club, and so every day after high school I went to the badminton club and was there. Since my family owns it, it's actually my real home because I only go home to sleep, even now. So I'm there 10, 12 hours a day, and then I just go home to sleep.
Wow. So, of all the boys and girls in the room here, if they wanted to get involved in badminton, I heard you mention the Orange County Badminton Club. Tell us how we can get involved if we wanted to.
For young kids who don't know how to play, we actually have Sunday group lessons from 2 to 4 o'clock. If you're interested, ask your parents to search Orange County Badminton Club on Google, and you'll find a phone number, and you can give the club a call and start on badminton. It's a really interesting sport, and a lot of people who try it for the first time really fall in love with it. It's really just getting in the door and getting to know the sport.
Now you mentioned Sundays from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. Can grown-ups, like somebody like me, can I show up too?
For grown-ups, we don't have adult group lessons, but we have a lot of people who are very friendly at our club and take in new people, and they'll teach them how to play and also get them games and things like that. So if any of the adults here are interested, you can also give us a call or give the club a call, and they will help organize and set up games and lessons or anything you would like at our club.
Excellent. And I want to ask Ava to come up front. And Ava, would you coach Phillip Chew on how to lead us now in the Pledge of Allegiance? Because he hasn't done a flag salute for a lot of years and might not forget how we do it exactly.
When I was here, there was no flag salute, so
Are you
there was
serious?
no flag salute day.
All right.
Nice, yeah.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Ava. Boys and girls, moms and dads, classroom teachers, how about a huge round of applause for Phillip Chew, our Fairmont Anaheim Hills Olympian.